What's up, everyone? Welcome into AniMan Plus Bonuscast edition. We are back once again with another one. Hey, like I said, we're aiming to do these about once a month. We're trying our best here. Today is a very special one because here very soon we have Father's Day. When this episode goes up, will be Father's Day. Shout out to all the dads out there. Shout out to you. Shout out to all the good ones. We're going to hear breakdown. We got 10 fathers that we want to shout out, and father figures as well, that we're going to shout out here from a bunch of different series, kind of briefly talk about them, give our thoughts on them. We are going to shout out some shitty ones. We don't want to go in detail because we don't want to celebrate the shitty dads. Just shout them out. Like, hey, you're a piece of shit. Go fuck yourself. Joining with me, as always, here in studio, I do have Zach with me. Zach, how are you doing today?
It's going good. Can't wait to get this done because, I mean, once we do this, gotta go figure out what we're going to do with my father that day then.
That's true. That's very, very true. Joining us over the phones as well, we do also have our boy Josh. Josh, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm here.
You're here, having a great day so far, ready to do it?
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so like I said, shout out to all the fathers out there. You know, shout out to all the father figures that have stepped up and helped take care of some kiddos. And, you know, even shout out to single moms. You know, shout out to you. If you got to take care of everything yourself, hey, shout out to you on that for sure. So when it comes to the bonus cast, you know, we just kind of pick a topic that we want to do as normal. You know, no big deal. We just kind of run with it. But if there's any topics that maybe you want to see us talk about, a good way to request that is through our Patreon, patreon.com/Sparky3. You can donate there and submit some Patreon topics, whatever you really want for us to talk about, whether it be on AniMan Plus or Lighthearted, either or. If you want to follow us at AniMan Podcast, we'd greatly appreciate the follow. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to give a thumbs up on the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you're listening to this anywhere else on the multiple platforms we're on, as Zach normally says at the end of every show, whatever your platform allows, we greatly appreciate you doing. Rate it, start, comment, like, whatever. All right, so jumping into this, the first thing I do want to address, because when we talk about dads and we talk about shitty dads, one of the most common ones that people talk about is Goku from Dragon Ball. I want to go ahead and talk about that one. Goku and Piccolo. These two are not on the list, okay? And I will die on this hill. Goku is a bad dad, yes, but he is not as bad as people make him out to be, okay? And Piccolo is not a good dad like people make him out to be, but he's not a bad one either. That is my stance. I will die on this hill, okay? If we're going to talk about a Dragon Ball dad, I'd say Krillin is probably the best. That's my opinion, but I will die on this hill about Goku and Piccolo. Everyone talking about that one. You got something? It looks like you're about to fire at me here.
I mean, I don't care. It's Dragon Ball.
Okay.
I could care less.
All right. Well, it look like you're about to fire something, but I just want to go ahead and address that. They are not on the list. I don't think Goku is a shitty father. I don't think he's a great father, but I do. He's kind of in the middle. And then the same thing with Piccolo. I don't think he's good, but I don't think he's bad either. So I'm gonna go ahead. and address
they're not
that.
as good. They're not as good as the best dad in Dragon Ball, which is Hercule, obviously.
Oh, you know what? That's fair. That's fair. Hercule loves his daughter. He'll buy her pretty much anything that she wants. He'll do what he can to take care of her. That's totally fair. That one's fair.
And his granddaughter.
That's true. Didn't even think about Hercule. Shout out to Hercule. All right, so shout out to some shitty fathers for being pieces of shit. Everyone knows it. You know it. The fans know it. So because it's an ongoing joke here on the show, I think Josh was the first one to mention a while back. Every bonus cast I seem to bring up Kaito Hitman Reborn, my favorite series. So I did have to pull something out of my ass here to bring up. So Amitsu, who is Suna's father, literally labeled as no good father but from Suna. He's not a terrible dad, but he's not great either by any means. So shout out to you. Good old, fuckboy Yasop over here from One Piece. This dude abandoned his son to go be a pirate because that's cooler. And then we have Gon's father from Hunter x Hunter. Is it Jing? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And then, of course, we have Rasa from Naruto, Gaara's father. Rasa's a scumbag for many ways. Gambino from Berserk, who is the adoptive father to Guts. If you know Berserk, you know why this dude's a scumbag. There's a lot of reasons. And we actually talked about this guy briefly on the backstory bonus cast we did. Another one from One Piece here, we have Vin Smoke Judge. He's a piece of shit. Then, of course, in current mainstream today, Endeavor from My Hero Academia. He's obviously not been a great father for a large list of reasons. And then lastly, I'd probably say the most notable shitty father in anime history, good old shit boy Shao Tucker from Full Metal Alchemist. That is probably the most notable shitty father, I would say. I think we can all agree to that. Everyone hates this guy with a burning passion. Like I said, don't want to really talk about those in full detail. We want to celebrate fathers, not, we don't want to celebrate these scumbags. So let's actually start talking about some good dads and some good father figures out there. So Zach, why don't you kick things off with number 10? Oh, also should stress, because I stressed this on the backstory one, by no means are these ranked. These are just 10 that we picked out. We just haven't. These are not ranked. Let me stress that. Now, Zach, why don't you kick things off with our 10th spot here?
So the first one that we want to mention is Joichiro from Food Wars. Joichiro Yukihiro, Soma's father, who ran the diner for many years, and then roundabout way, he ends up pushing his son, who was learning to cook from him at the diner, to push him out to learn more about the world besides what's going on in the diner by going and trying the world to cook and pushing his son out of the diner by closing up and saying, hey, go to the school, learn about things, meet people, do your thing. And at first it sort of seems like a shitty move because he just up and disappears without telling his son. But when you get through it, he pushed his son out to get out of his mindset of just the diner, meet other people, cook. He shows up and checks up on his son every now and again and check out how he's doing, challenges him, has a good, nice little son and father moment, pushes him forward, even shows up during the whole big 10 seats fight to help them out and everything. So, I mean, overall, Joe Richo's a pretty good father, pushes his kid in the right direction to help him experience the world more and just not coddle him or anything, because he specifically challenges Yasoma all the time and just beats him to the ground in cooking, and just so he doesn't get a high head.
Hey, some people need that tough love. That's just the fact of life. I know some people personally that are that way, where they really need the tough love to kind of grow and in their life. There's no doubt about that. Hopping over from there, our number 9 spot, Josh, passing off to you. What do we got?
Well, we got. I'm gonna butcher it.
Alrighty.
Orsai, who, if you don't know, is the priest in Black Clover, who runs the church in Hanji village. Anyway,
I think that sounds right. Hage,
yeah.
Hage. Boom.
Hanji is from Attack on Titan.
We are a top tier podcast. We know what we're talking about.
Yes, we are. Anyway, but on Alex's list of best dads, he's number 9.
Sounds like a shock there, but okay.
Yeah, no, because you said it was it's not ranked or anything. Anyway, but yeah, no, we put him on here because he may not be a biological father, but he's an adoptive father, and he, has adopted everyone, all the kids that he takes care of, most notably Asta and Yuno, and he loves them all unconditionally, like they were his own kids, and would do anything for them, and is extremely proud of Asta and Yuno as they, ascend through the ranks of, Magic Knights, and he, is very appreciative of all the money they donate to him, and even tells them if they ever decide to come back, that's always going to be their home no matter what.
Shout out. Yeah, overall, a great father figure added here to this list. He's taken in so many kids over the years to help watch over them. And, we've seen a huge cast there. There's 4 more kids, I think.
Yes.
I think there's 4 more that live there currently, and his doors will always be open to more. Even though they're obviously very poor, he's always done what he can for them. To keep everyone alive, keep everyone pushing. So, I definitely a great father figure there. Hopping over from there at our 8th spot, passing it back to Zach. Zach, what you got?
So next one that I added was Kagetora Ida from Kokoro's Basketball. He is the father of, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, which is bad, but the female coach who coaches the basketball team that follows Kokoro's team. Mm-hmm. And he's just a very entertaining father, because he's very much just the typical father you would see, because he is a physical, I can't even think of the proper name, physical trainer pretty much, and everything. And his daughter learned that from him, so she's able to look at guys and know exactly how their body muscles and everything are built. And she got that from her father, who was that. She learned from her father, and just, it's any great moment that he's there, he's always very protective of his daughter. There's even several moments in the series where he looks at all the guys and says, you make a move on my daughter, I'm going to kill you. Because it's just her and all these basketball guys. So
Right.
So already he's just very entertaining. He's very supportive of helping them and whatnot, and teaching her what she needs to know and everything, and just being an overall dad of, you touch my daughter, I'm going to kill you.
Right.
Which even with some of these fathers we have on the list, you don't get to see that good moment. So
Right. Okay. Shout out to that. Coming on number 7 on our list. This was one of mine. I put All Might on here from My Hero Academia. I feel like, especially at the point that we are now in the manga, for sure, he's definitely become that father figure for Deku. I mean, Deku obviously has looked up to him ever since he was a little kid because of how awesome of a hero he is. But once he became his successor to One for All, All Might really stepped into that role as a father figure, and I really feel like it was really cemented after the All for One fight, where they were going to meeting all the parents and everything, and All Might swore to his mother then that he would sacrifice his life to protect him if he had to, which then gave a nice moment where she said, no, promise me that you'll live for him, not die for him, because he looks up to you. And this is one little tiny spoiler from a recent manga chapter, like literally last week or so. He had another kind of moment like that where he told someone that he will not die until Deku is trained properly and stuff, that he's dedicating himself to help train Deku and look out for him and take care of him, even in some recent manga chapters, as simple as, hey, don't forget to eat, here's a meal for you, and just stuff like that. So I mean, All Might, in my opinion, definitely fits the role of father figure, and I think he does a really good job at that, looking out for Deku and helping him grow. And it also kind of helps that Deku's dad is not around. Once upon a time, Hirkoshi did say Deku's dad was going to come into the series at some point.
And once upon a time is long past, and I don't think he's ever going to make an appearance.
I don't think he's ever going to make an appearance either. I think that ship is long sailed. But,
Hey, remember when there was a spy in the school?
Yeah, who remembers that? Yeah, like that was a thing that got totally forgotten. But who knows? Maybe he'll follow back up with it, but I doubt it.
Not at this point.
Yeah, no, not where we are now in the story. I very much doubt it. But yeah, I think All Might definitely fits the role of father figure for Deku, and I think he does a phenomenal job at it. Coming
also,
in, go ahead.
Happy birthday, All Might.
That is true. Yep. The day that we're recording, I forgot about that. Yeah, happy birthday, All Might. Forgot. That is today, the day that we're recording on June 10th here. So passing it off back to Zach, coming in at number 6. What do we got?
Next, I have Bunta Fujiwara from Initial D. I looked up into all these, and a bunch of these series I watched like several years back. I was like, oh yeah, they're a good father. Then I forget to actually look up their kid's name.
It happens.
But yeah, he's the father of our main character of Initial D. He's mostly prominent during the beginnings of the series. He only shows up here and there towards the later parts once everything, but he more or less pushes his son to learn how to drive by literally in middle school. They run a sake delivery service, or that's not quite right. They run a delivery service, and back in middle school, he more or less has his son start doing the deliveries and more or less saying, you got to do it this quick. Get there, puts a cup of water in the dash, and the little cup holder is like, don't spill this, otherwise I'm going to punish you. Go. And more or less just teaches him to learn how to drift and race on mountains and everything doing this for years until he hits to high school, and then more or less pushes him in to help him, because like one of the big moments is there's going to be a big race and everything and whatnot, and he goes out of his way to fix up the vehicle, tune it properly for everything for what his son's about to do, and it's just like, here you go. Doesn't say anything about it, just hands him the keys and like, you got to be somewhere, right? Go. So he just, even though he's not just outright about it, he purposely does what he can to help his son learn and helps him out when he needs it. No concern about it, just like, don't destroy the car.
Just don't destroy it. That's all I ask for. Here's something for you before I pass it over to Josh taking care of number 5. Here's a 5.5 for you that just popped in my head. For some reason, everything that you were talking about reminded me of this character that I think all three of us can agree on. A little special 5.5 here on our ranking. Sakamoto Days. Just popped in my head. I was like, damn, he's a good dad too. I don't know why your story reminded me of Sakamoto, but it did. Yeah, shout out to Sakamoto. That's a newer manga and Weekly Shonen Jump. It's like what, 25 chapters around there. So if you want to, you can go check that out. Read the first 3 on the Weekly Shonen Jump app and see if you like it. Yeah, Sakamoto's pretty good dad. He fought off those old ladies for that bag for his daughter. He got his shit wrecked by those old ladies.
Those old ladies were rough.
Those old ladies were brutal, man. But hey, he did it. He did it for his daughter. Shout out to Sakamoto. So passing over to at number 5 here, Josh. What do we have here at number 5?
Josh.
Joshy Poo.
Yeah, sorry, I muted myself. Anyway,
grade A show right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Sparky 3
I know.
Is a grade A production.
Well, my dog started whooping, and I didn't want her barking while you guys were talking.
It's okay. This sort of stuff like that happens right here. This is part of the charm. That is the show.
Yeah,
it's
the charm.
I'm not sure if it is, but okay.
I think
it's not. It's not. Yeah. So no, number 5 is probably the best dad in all of One Piece. As I cannot think of many dads in One Piece aside from Odin that hit me a minute ago. That Odin was actually a pretty good dad.
Okay.
But this one is actually. Yeah, this is actually Whitebeard, who technically is not a dad, but again, one of those father figures where every one of his crew members is his son or daughter. And he loves them all equally, even going so far as to waging a war on the world government to get Ace back. So, all around, 10 out of 10, top dad in One Piece. Everyone else is kind of shitty so far, at least when we've seen interactions between like them and their kids, but Whitebeard is the one exception where he loves them all equally and doesn't want to see anything bad happen to any of them. Even Blackbeard, he didn't want anything bad to happen to him, even though Blackbeard had killed one of his crewmates, one of Whitebeard's sons, and all that. He really didn't want Odin to go with Roger, in the flashbacks that we saw recently. So just 10 out of 10 good dad.
Shout out. I can definitely agree to that, man, because he looks after everyone that comes on that ship as his own flesh and blood. So
exactly.
Definitely a great father figure there. Coming in at number 4, we got a twofer here. We have Naruto and Minato from obviously Naruto and the Boruto series. In Naruto's case, I'll start off with Minato. Of course, Naruto's father, the 4th Hokage, sacrificed his life for Naruto, him and Kushina both, and I feel like that alone says, speaks volumes to him as a father. And thankfully, with stuff like, I think it was what was it called, the movie Road to Ninja, I think is what it's called. We got to see a nice insight of what it possibly would have been like if they were alive. Now, granted, in that alternate universe, he was not the Hokage. We did get to see in some filler arcs how things would have played out if Minato never passed away. Things would have played out very differently. We got to see, a little bit more about how he would be as a father and just overall a caring father. And I know there's the argument where he may not be a great dad because he sealed the demon fox inside of him, but at the end of the day, he did that because he believed in his son. And even at, the future instance where he does get to come back in, inside like the spirit form, whatever, tells Naruto, reaffirms it there that, hey, I believe in you. You can do this. And even when he gets reincarnated, it's the same thing. He just has complete and utter faith in his son. Like I said, at the end of the day, sacrificing your life for your son, that speaks volumes completely. And then when it comes to Naruto, this one's like a little iffy for some people because, when it comes to the Boruto anime and the manga, you're looking at everything through Boruto's eyes. The story follows him. The series literally kicks off saying, this is my story, not my dad's. So through Boruto's eyes, you see Naruto as a shitty father. But if you look at it, you step it back and don't look at it through Boruto's eyes and just look at it as a whole, Naruto consistently tries to be there for both his kids because he didn't have parents obviously growing up. He tries consistently. It may be through clones at times because he's at the end of the day he's still got a job to do as the Hokage, but he consistently tries to be there for both of his kids. And I gotta say, watching the anime, the times that I have, literally some of the best episodes was the episodes of Naruto just being a dad. I'm completely upfront. Those are some of the best episodes to watch in Boruto, hands down. They're so entertaining, whether if it's just like something, it's just so wholesome, of how hard that he does try, like, him and Boruto, going out to get ramen together. There was an entire episode where Naruto was spending time with his daughter trying to get a Kurama plushie and got the one tail. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now for some reason. But just some of the greatest content of just really wholesome content of Naruto actually really trying to be a dad. Going over from there, number 3, passing it back to Zach. Zach, what you got?
One of the last people I added on this was Nandro Echizen from Prince of Tennis, Ryoma Echizen's father. He's a good dad in that he pushes his son to be able to be better at tennis and more or less not fall in a slump and everything, and just pushes him. But it's entertaining just because Nandro's not just the helpful father, he's the I'm an egg you on son. Just when he sees Ryoma's like, hey Ryoma, you want to play a game? And just proceeds to not fully commit to the game and just mess with Ryoma, which infuriates Ryoma, which pushes him to do better so he can beat his father. Mm-hmm. And just overall, just seeing that nice dynamic between the two of them, considering you find out later in the series, Nandro's like one of the best tennis players ever. And just, you now understand why he just messes with Ryoma to push him. Because he, a little deeper into it, but a little backstory. Nandro literally stopped doing tennis because he more or less played all the great best players in the world to teach his son tennis so that he could then play tennis with his son on an even playing field. More or less just to push his son to become as good, if not better, than himself.
Right. Which at the end of the day, that's what all parents really want out of their kids is, they want their kids to just go above and beyond and be better than they ever were. That's what you want as a parent. So that's definitely a good shout out there. Coming at number 2, passing it over to Josh. Josh, what do we have here at number 2?
Well, what we have here is a dad that's not afraid to tell you about how much he loves his kids.
Sure.
Since he does literally every chance he gets in the show. Sure. Which would be May's youth. There's not really a lot to say because that's basically his character is, just telling everyone about his kids and helping to hunt down the homunculi. It's sad, though, that he never gets to see his daughter grow up and experience, get to share in her life with her. But all in all, 10 out of 10, good dad. There's probably more that I'm missing here. Yeah.
No, I mean, honestly, that's the big gist of it. Short and sweet. I mean, like, while there may not be a ton of content and a ton of fine examples like a lot of other people, at the end of the day, like, this dude is a 10 out of 10 father with how he's portrayed. That's literally a staple in his character. Because like you said, any chance he gets, he's going to show people pictures of his daughter and say how cute she is and how fantastic she is and whatever. That's his entire character. So overall, 10 out of 10 father, no doubt.
And going as far as like a good father and husband, he wouldn't even attack Envy, knowing full well that even though Envy looked like his wife, that wasn't really his wife, but he still couldn't bring himself to attack her.
Right. Yeah, 100%, man. Like, overall, great husband, great father. I think even though like I said, there's not a lot of content for it, I think any anime fan that's seen Full Metal can definitely agree to that. And then finishing things off here, I think, we can kind of agree that this is probably one of the best anime fathers out there because of just how much he did and how much he sacrificed for his son. And that's Bakuya Ishigami from Dr. Stone, Senku's father. Kicking things off before the Stone World happened, you get to see in some backstory where Bakuya, literally sells his car, that he needs to go to work and shit just so he can buy Senku a bunch of like telescopes and other, things along those lines because he saw so much potential in Senku that he thought Senku was going to be, just great, and he wanted to give Senku all these incredible things, and then, him going up in space, that was all partially also to help motivate Senku, because Senku has such a fascination with space. He's just like, oh, Senku, look at me, look at your dad, going up here. I should also mind you, this is not, his biological father as well. This is, adoptive dad here, but he's doing everything he can for Senku, to elevate him to a higher level, to motivate him. Like, look at me, Senku, I'm up in space, you can do it too, whatever, and then, obviously the stone world stuff happened. Bakuya, survives because he was in space, and then everything that he did during that time when everyone's stuck in stone, he did to set Senku up for success. Leaving stuff behind for him, building, that entire village, Ishigami Village, was built to help Senku when the time came. We got to see in the end of season 1 of the anime, the record they found where, he starts to go on one spill like he's talking to just anybody, and then it cuts it off, and he's like, Senku, it's you, isn't it? He's just like, I know you'll wake up. I know Senku will be the one to fix this. He knows this, so I feel like, a lot of people can agree that Bakuya is like one of the best anime dads out there, 1000%. Josh, you're a big Dr. Stone fan. You've seen, both seasons of the anime. You've read all the manga up to this point. I feel like it's pretty safe to say that, he's a phenomenal father. Would you say?
Yeah, yeah. Especially going as far as like, making that treasure chest.
Yep.
For Senku to find with all those like precious stones and all that stuff that he knew, like if Senku found it, it would help advance, whatever he was trying to do. Like he had that much faith in it.
Yeah. 100%, man. Like everything that he did, while, the world was, encased in stone, he did to help set up Senku to basically save the day. He had no doubt that his son would save the day. So just overall 10 out of 10 dad, just between the sacrifice and the belief in your child, just overall, absolutely just a 10 out of 10. And, back to just a generic point here, shout out to all the dads out there. Shout out to all the single dads. Shout out to the single moms that's having to play the role of dad. Shout out to the adoptive fathers, the father figures in the world, whatever. Shout out to all of you, for everything that you do for your kids and, other children. You do a phenomenal thing for everyone. So that's going to do it for our list here. We did our best to try to keep this shorter. We don't want to draw out the bonus cast too long. I know our backstory one drew out kind of lengthy, but kind of had to for the reasons, but don't want to drag these out too long. So kind of got this on the shorter side, which is never really a bad thing. Quick, sweet, and to the point. So, Zach, Josh, you guys have anything that you guys want to say to wrap this bonus cast up?
Only thing I really got to add is Happy Father's Day to all, as father figures, fathers, anyone who's having to take up that role out there. And hopefully this day is a good one for you. Besides that, like, comment, subscribe, anything on our channel. If you like it, hit subscribe and then hit that bell. It'll pop up in your feed. Thank you.
Yep. Josh, you got anything?
Exactly what Zach said. Happy Father's Day, everyone.
Right on. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this bonus cast. If you did, let us know. Get engaged with the comments on like the YouTube. We'll comment back. Kind of get engaged with everyone here. And again, if you want to support us further, the Patreon's a great way to do so. And that way, you can submit your own bonus cast topics for us to talk about. But hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Shout out, like we've said, shout out to all the dads out there, man. This is your day. Celebrate it. Have a good one. Get your New Balance on and do some grilling. Have a good day. All right, that's going to do it from us, guys. Until next time, have a great day.
Bye.